All of us has almost given up at some point. Think about this, it's the end of yet another hard day. You're just sitting there, having the world's weight on you, being heavy on you. But wait, there's more. Did you know that in the past, a lot of the biggest steps forward in life follow soon after these times of pure doubt and weariness? It's real, and a secret that Stoics have taken up hundreds of years. We're going deep today, into the world of the Stoic school of thought, to learn important lessons about life that make us strong even when giving up. It looks like the only choice. These aren't just suggestions. They are tried and true methods that teach us how to change our worst moments deep into the roots. One of our biggest successes. Stay because you're about to find out how to make the most of your problems, to keep your victories going. Let's look at these life-changing thoughts together, and just maybe, we'll look at why every trouble is a chance in plain sight, in case you like what we're doing right now and would like to help this journey. A small, free kindness I'd like to ask of you is to click the subscribe button. Please do not skip any part of the movie, so you can fully accept the power to change things of what we're about to look into. Allow us to begin. I understand how that sounds. It doesn't make sense, does it? Most of us feel pain, a state that you should never have. But what if I told you that pain in all of its pain and intensity? First lesson holds lessons that are priceless, that life couldn't teach us anything else. It's a tough idea to understand, but it's one of the main ideas behind Stoicism, the Stoics. Those wise old people who are known for their useful advice. They didn't just go through pain, they took it in as an important part to help them grow as people. They think that facing pain straight on was not a test of how much pain a chance, though, make one's spirit stronger and decide. When you as a teacher start to feel pain instead of an enemy, your whole point of view changes. Instead of running away from it, you're interested when you meet it. What does this teach me? Remember the times when you're hurt, whether it was emotional or not. Pain from losing someone, ouch, or disappointment. Pain in the body, by pushing yourself to the limit. Think about how those times forced you to deal with facts you might not have paid attention to. The pain goes away the most visible parts of our lives and shows us our true weak spots and strong points. It makes us reach and go beyond our limits, giving us that we are strong enough to handle and finally beating more than we think as an example. Think back to a time when things were breaking down all over. Maybe you had a failure in your life, or life threw a sudden tragedy coming your way. The hurt caused by those events was probably too much, but with that much power, the picture was also clear, right? It made you look inside yourself, to look at your ideas more closely, your strength, how well you can change. It's not nice. It's not something we're looking forward to, but after it we often get a new sense of who we are, an even stronger base on which to rebuild. So when I say accept pain, I don't mean look for it, or wallow in misery. To recognize pain is what I mean. When it gets there, to value what it does for you as a strict but good teacher. Make use of it, to make your inner strength stronger. Let it shape you, like fire making gold better. What Stoicism teaches us that by changing how we feel pain, the choice to see the worth in pain, we can change events that could be crippling into strong lessons in strength and stamina. In the highly linked world of today, where being on all the time and being connected is normal, making time for moments for being alone can seem not just old-fashioned, but even more difficult. This is where Stoicism comes in, brings us back down to something very simple but strong. What Stoicism teaches us how important it is to look inside, and how those alone, quiet times can be really strong. You feel alone isn't about being alone or lonely. It's about taking a step back on purpose, to get peace of mind and clarity. It's during these quiet times that we can really get back together to share our deepest thoughts. Get away from the noise and what the outside world wants when you let yourself second lesson to go into silence. You're not trying to get away from the chaos. You're in charge now, over the scenery inside you. You're giving yourself time to think and be still. For tough people, being alone is an important practice to think about yourself as well as self-sufficiency. It helps us learn to trust our own judgment tools and sources, bringing the idea home that we have inside us, having the strength to deal with any problem by yourself. You are able to talk to yourself, to be as deeply and honestly as much as you can, getting in touch with your true thoughts and the problems you try to avoid during the busyness of everyday life. Remember the last time you had some time to yourself. How did it feel? If it felt awkward at first, that makes sense. We're so used to it always being stimulated that quiet can be too much to handle. But as you get used to the quiet, you could see things you've been putting in the back of your mind. There may be ways to solve problems, or brand new ideas could spring up. Seeing being alone can be a strong spark for creativity and figuring out problems. It lets you to change the way you think, to get away from the closed-off room, what the public thinks. Don't forget, during those quiet times, you're also getting stronger. Being alone teaches you to be alone and enjoy yourself, to bring peace to yourself. Instead of trying to find it from outside sources, you don't have to cut yourself, cut off from the world. Balance is what it's all about. How you connect with others with breaks, what you pay attention to on coming up with your own ideas and thoughts. Stoicism doesn't just say to be alone. In honor of it, as an important part to growth as a person and freedom inside Julius Caesar, a lot of times about the power of going away to one's own thoughts to get peace. He saw being alone as a time to make his heart stronger in spite of the problems of his outside surroundings. That's why I urge you to enjoy being alone. Not because they lack social skills, but as a planned vacation, where you can rest and recharge. Rethink and restart with your most important goals. Start out small. If you have to, set aside a few minutes every day to just sit still with your ideas, maybe in the morning, or in a way to relax in the evening. Over time, you might find that these times of being alone are not only healthy, but they are strong tools in keeping your mind sharp. A healthy mind and heart. Now, before you make snap judgments, I'll explain what this means in a Stoic sense. It's not about giving up all of your goals or going through life without a plan. Instead, it's about letting go. The hold on rigid, very specific results that can often lead us to more anger than satisfaction. It's about being open to change, with more attention on the trip than just the place you're going. Third lesson in being Stoic: they put a lot of weight on following the rules of nature, which includes the way we are, our skills and circumstances, and how our world really is. What the Stoics taught us. Even though it's normal and needed to set the course and want to achieve things, getting too attached to, as to the exact results, can leave us open to harm, to sadness and disappointment. What they told us to pay attention to what we can change our actions and how we feel, instead of the outside results, which are often subject to forces we can't control. Think about it. How many times have you made a clear goal, only to feel stressed out by the stress of having to do it, or smashed what if things didn't go as planned? It can be very disappointing when this happens. Whenever the goal is big, which is commendable, but can set us up for a hard encounter with truth. No, Stoicism does not want us not to aim too high. In fact, it teaches us to separate our self-worth and peace of mind because these goals were reached. This way of doing things is freeing. When you give up on strict goals, you let people in to wins and new experiences. You might not have thought of that if you were strictly following a set plan. This doesn't mean you stop making plans or trying to be the best, but it does mean you become more flexible. With a strong mind, you start to value the process itself, the learning and growth, the little wins we have every day. As an example, if you're a business owner, instead of worrying a lot, hitting some too hard dates for important financial goals, you could think about putting together good relationships with your customers and making your services better. The shift in attention due to set results to the quality of work can lead not only to a business that can last longer, but also to a better life and less stress at work. What Stoicism teaches us to get ready for different events with the hope of the best in this way. We stay the same. No matter what comes our way, we learn to have fun. more fully in the present moment because we're happy. Does not have to follow a future that's always just out of reach. Instead of our happiness comes from understanding we're being honest with ourselves, giving it our all with the things we have and getting better through it. So I want you to think about what kind of you're sticking to your plans, and think about how it might feel to let go a little. What might you find about yourself and your way if you let yourself the right to look around without the extra weight of clear-cut goals? Taking this stern lesson to heart, things might change not just how you go after your hopes and dreams, but what you go through each step of the way. This lesson turns an everyday wish on its head, the desire for ease and comfort in our search for comfort and safety. We could miss it. The fourth lesson, on the very things that make us who we are, the most durable parts about who we are. What Stoicism teaches us, that real growth and the greatest happiness doesn't have a life of ease and comfort, but from one that makes us think and makes us stretch our limits, taking on tasks instead of always wanting to feel better, is about choosing something consciously to get involved in things that test how strong we are and make our skills bigger. It's about getting it. Often that comfort equals to staying the same, even though problems can help us move forward, getting us bigger to be strong and smart. Remember the last time you worked really hard. Get out of your safe zone. Maybe it was getting better at something, working on a tough project at work, or even just sitting down for what you think is right, when it would have been better to keep quiet. Remember how alive you felt, how those events came about, made you stronger, more skilled person. Stoicism doesn't just bear things being faced with problems, it welcomes them as important, things that make a life worth living. The Stoics, such as Seneca and Epictetus, stress that the problems we're having are not just problems, chances though. Chances in order to show traits like courage, persistence, and the ability to adapt. Every task gives you a chance to show ourselves that we are able to, of more than we think, and every win, no matter how little, helps us feel confident and makes our resolve stronger in real-life terms. Trying to find problems could mean making plans that make you a little scared, because they make you to go further than what you believe is doable. It could mean giving your time. For a project that looks you're not in your depth or taking on top roles. What you usually do not want to be in the center. You have to say yes. About chances that might at first making you feel bad, since you know they'll help you get better. Also, let's be clear. Looking for challenges isn't about being careless or putting yourself in danger. It's about being smart. Getting outside your comfort zone and choosing roads on purpose that put your skills and values to the test. This is about developing a way of thinking that sees not as threats, but as tough situations, but as important lessons that are important for growth as a person, by regularly putting yourself in tough situations. You also make people stronger. Life is hard to plan for, and ease can leave us sometimes not ready for when things go wrong. However, if you're used to facing and getting through tough times, you're better prepared to deal with anything life throws at you. You learn to adapt better. Greater creativity and strength, traits that are very important no matter what road your life takes. Yes, I meant to say challenge. To think about how they can look for challenges. Don't just settle for comfort. Accept your discomfort that grows with you. It won't always be like that. It will be hard, but it will be worth it. Do not forget, diamonds are made under stress, and like those gems, the hardest things that happened. Fifth lesson can lead to the most useful outcomes in your life. At first, this may sound a bit harsh. After all, feelings play a big role of what makes us people, but what we're diving. The point of this isn't to hide or not caring about how you feel. Instead, it's about not letting your feelings determine what you do, or make you lose your mind. This is an important Stoic behavior that aims to make things clear in life's strength. Stoicism tells us that even though we can't what takes place to us, we can choose how to react. Our feelings, if we don't guard them, can lead us to decide things on the spot or easily stressed out. That's why the Stoics stress how important of noticing how we feel without responding right away to them. By understanding how we feel and what sets them off, we can choose how to respond. those that are in line with our beliefs and long-term plans. Think of a time when you were mad. Feeling of anger or fear controlled how you responded to a situation. It might have led to words or things you later felt bad about. What would you do if you had taken a step back and noticed that feeling to really get it? What made you feel that way without acting on it? Right away, that area from how you feel to what you do is where the wise Stoic lives. It's where we get the power to make choices. What we want to do next. Think things through in place of raw feeling. Staying away from feelings does not mean you turn into a robot or not caring. On the other hand, it means you want to do well. To take part in life in a that is well thought out and planned. You agree that and honor your feelings, but you keep them too, leaving the ship to steer. So this makes life more level where you won't be thrown around by the waves of emotions. Instead, find your way through them with ease and purpose in real life, staying away from feelings. You can start with techniques for mindfulness when a strong feeling comes up. Take a deep breath in and out, and write down how you feel. Ask yourself what makes you feel this way. How does my behavior fit in? What's going on? In what way should I answer? That fits with what I believe. It can help you to ask these kinds of questions. Do not have knee-jerk responses. Pick and choose that you won't feel bad about later. Also, by practicing mental distance, you'll be able to handle life's problems with a more clear mind. Less trouble comes up. About how they make you feel and more about what they stand for and how to deal with them. With this change in view makes you feel very strong. It lets you deal with setbacks, problems not as big mental changes as chances, though, to use your knowledge, courage, and strength. So I want you to try putting this Stoic lesson into your everyday life. Watch your feelings and try to understand them. Don't let them control you, though. Over time, you'll find that this works not only makes peace but also makes you better at what you do. Decide what to do. Keep ties going and work towards your goals with peace of mind and a steady heart. Seeing is what this one is all about. How much you're worth and taking the lead to say it, especially at times when it looks like no one else will. It's about taking charge. When you speak up for yourself, what you believe and what you need. This isn't about ego or pride. It has to do with how much you respect yourself. To make sure that other people respect you too. What Stoicism teaches us how important it is to be independent and how important it is to be grounded in one's own good qualities, skills, and abilities. What it means to be your own champion, not waiting for outside approval or expecting other people to notice what you've done and then give them something instead. You should value your work. Sixth lesson, and what you brought enough to help them and make sure they're known for it. It's also about making rules and being heard when something is against what you believe in. Think about being at work and your heart and heart into a job. When the time comes to get credit and be noticed, you might feel a true not wanting to take the lead. Maybe it feels a little, feeling awkward or proud, but pushing for. It's not about bragging to be for yourself. It's about being honest, showing off your accomplishments and making sure they're noticed. It's about being honest with yourself. If you don't show what you're worth, you can't count on other people to figure it out on their own. This tough approach makes angry feelings less strong, or being ignored, which can make things worse when we don't do anything to show what we're worth by taking the lead when we speak up for ourselves. We're in charge of our work story and happiness for yourself. It means having tough talks, getting praise, trying to get better terms, or even just sitting down for your thoughts in a meeting. Pretty much. This could begin with little steps. Start by recognizing, keep your accomplishments to yourself. If you need to, write them down. Take a moment to think about them, then start making sounds of these accomplishments in the way you connect. Get better at expressing what you think in team events. Talk about your wins and reports of performance and be the first person to sign up looking for chances that are in line with your job goals. Taking care of yourself makes sure you don't waste time and your feeling power. It means turning down projects that don't help you reach your goals or that put your health at risk. This is about recognizing when you're overworked and take a step back, or when you need to move forward. Ready to take on new tasks that get you excited and cue up taking care of your own growth. Besides understanding, this self-support is very important, not just in your job but in all parts of life. It gives you a base of strength and self-respect, good things that let you talk to each other, to the world, in a more assured and focused way of acting. It helps you get through life, certainly not as a bystander but as an active and involved producer, to decide your own fate. And so I urge you to start training, taking care of yourself. It's a lesson in being tough, that not just getting ahead at work or praise from others, but it makes your sense of self-worth in general, and choice when you speak up for yourself. It's not just to claim what you deserve, you're also teaching other people how to deal with you. Having a standard thanks for your interactions built on honesty and respect for each other. Taking up Stoicism. It's not enough to adopt a few ideas about philosophy. It's about making these rules that will guide your whole life, changing how you talk to each other with the people and things around you. It is a call to live with purpose. 7th lesson. With strength and wisdom at the center of everything you do. Stoicism is more than just a way of life. It is a useful set of tools. For living a happier life and a useful life, accepting the Stoic way of life, you choose a path of constant growth as a person and getting better. You learn to accept things you can't change, even though acting strongly about what you can change. It has to do with realizing that even though our feelings and responses happen naturally, their power over us is over. We can pick reason and peace of mind amidst the mess of life. Think about how often our peace is broken, not based on real events but by what we think and how people felt about these events. What Stoicism teaches us to break down these feelings, to understand them, and then to answer driven by reason instead of habit. This way of living doesn't take away from how rich are our inner lives, but makes it better by making things clear and giving us power, permitting us to feel feelings without having to be ruled by them. Taking the Stoic stance means developing good traits like bravery, and just common sense and moderation, traits that make life worth living good lives. It requires daily work. And thoughts that make things clearer, our character, and help us decide what to do. As an example, writing in a book where you think about the day, the choices you made, and how they fit together with your strict Stoic beliefs can teach you a great deal. It's a way to keep yourself honest and keep working to be the best person you can be. Besides, Stoicism teaches you to be strong. In the face of trouble, things in life will always give us problems to solve. Accepting the Stoic way of life gets us ready for these tasks with a calm spirit and thinking about the future. It gives us power to look at problems as chances to see how good we are and get stronger based on the experience. This point of view, the change is incredibly freeing. In conclusion, as the tests become of life, from something we fear into something we meet as a chance to show how mettle. As we come to an end of our quest, these lessons in being calm, I want you to really accept this stiff way of life. Make it more than just a mental exercise. Make it a part that lives and breathes of what you are. As you use these rules to live by every day, you'll notice a difference, not just in how you deal with issues, but in how you see things, the area around you. You'll feel more calm, a stronger sense of purpose, and an unwavering joy that lasts, even in the face of the good and bad things in life. Don't forget that every day is a blank slate. And these lessons, what you need, a picture of a strong life, knowledge, and happiness. Thanks for taking the time to talk about these stern ideas with me. This is the Stoic Journal. If you learned something from these lessons, look at the movie that was suggested on your screen to find more ways to join Stoicism into your everyday life. Thanks for taking part of this neighborhood. Keep getting better and pushing yourself, and keep following the steady way. Stay strong and calm until next time.